I just got to make a longer intro. You know,
Yeah.
I did. Here's the thing, Nicole. We're getting right into it. Everyone was like,
Okay.
man, the intro is too long. And then I
Mhm.
literally make a 4 second intro, and nobody
Yep.
was like, oh my God, the intro is only 4 seconds. A 4 second intro makes it very hard for me to switch us over and do the thing and hit the record and move the boop to the boop and twist the doodly doot. And,
Move the boob.
move the boob. Honk,
You
honk.
know, you know, what is it? Um, 21 Jump Street or 22 Jump Street when Jonah Hill wants to two strap it and Channing Tatum's like, no, one strap it. That's where I'm at with this jacket right now. I'm like, do I jacket it or do I not jacket it?
Oh
And
my
I'm kind of like,
Lord.
I feel like it matches your background. So like, I'm gonna jacket it. Like, I feel like this is very like BBCAN9 looking. Like, whoa, here I am.
And, but no,
You don't like it? You don't think I should jacket it?
you know what I think.
I like it.
I
It's
told her
different.
I think it looks like color threw up on her.
I like that. The world is a rainbow.
Well, you know what else it will send me over the rainbow, Nicole?
What is that, Eric?
If people follow, like, and subscribe wherever you guys are watching this show, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you now, whatever they have in Mars or whatever planet you're on, because I'm sure there's life out there that is
Mm,
totally able to get our channels, but they
right?
don't
I bet.
communicate with us.
And
And
I
I'm
guarantee sometimes they have a better signal than I get when I try to watch BB Can.
why? You have a problem watching BB Can?
I had trouble today. I had so much trouble today. It was like one website, other website, audio on the phone. My family, we were getting bits and pieces all over the place. But we got it. Don't you worry.
It's your internet because
It's your internet.
I watch it the same place you watch it, and I had zero problem.
I had like 20 problems, but
You
you
need
know it's
to
not a problem?
when people reset their routers, especially when they live stream every day, and when they share the show. So make
Yes.
sure that you guys share because sharing is caring. Share it now and let people know that we're live. When you make it to the end of this show, share it then because I think we're going to switch things up a little bit on this show. Nicole doesn't
You
even
think so?
know. Well,
Oh,
we'll get there. I'll see what you think in 1 second. And make sure that you visit our website at hellofriendspod.com if you need to find us on those socials. Mine, Nicole's, the podcast, our live show schedule, any of that stuff is over on our website.
yes, of course. And as always, if you're listening to the audio podcast version, please be sure to leave it a 5-star rating, a positive review, and share it with all your podcast listening pals. And here we are, colorful in our maroons and our indigos and our blues. I like this aesthetic we have going. I feel like I match your background. Your shirt matches my background. I'm just feeling the vibe right now.
I vibe in. That's a
Vibing.
TikTok thing.
Vibing.
Vibe in. You vibe in?
That sounds
People were
inappropriate.
people were vibing with the ranting of me on the last show,
Okay.
and I decided to just bring him back for the rest of the season. So he's gonna get a ranty Eric for the rest of the season. I think that's a good way to be.
Okay. And what's my role?
Um, to look like melted crowns,
Melted what?
crowns, crayons.
You did. Please tell me you emphasize that just to get under my skin. That's not the way you say crayons.
It's crowns.
A crown is what you wear on your
I'm
head. A
saying
crayon is what you
crowns.
color. Eric, that's not the way you say crayons.
Crayons. Is that good?
Yeah, what were you saying? Crayons?
Crowns.
That is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard you say, and I've known you for a very long time. I'm freaked
It's the
out. Not a very
noise
long time, but I'm freaked.
canceling. I don't know what it does.
No, you said it wrong
No, I
because I
have to
saw the look in
break it
your
up.
eyes.
Crowns are crowns. Crayons. If
Crowns
I
is what you get on your teeth. Crowns is what you wear on your head.
right.
Crayons.
Yeah. But if I say it fast, crowns.
Nobody says crayons, crowns.
Look,
Hey
nobody's
kids,
here.
who wants to start coloring with crowns?
Yes, here's the thing. We can have this argument on our Hello Friends podcast. People want to hear about BBCAN.
Or as you would say, BBCAN.
Pecans. Pecans. Crowns and pecans. Um,
I'm ready.
whi-
I'm so ready.
which, by the way, to let everyone know, tomorrow night we are gonna be live at a special time, right,
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes, we are going to be live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with a pal of mine, Juan Carlos. He is a comedian. I have been interviewed by him a few times for his Revisionary podcast. So I'm really excited. Like I said, he's a comedian, so it'll be interesting to. I think it'd be a good dynamic with the three of us, and he's a very good, obviously, sense of humor. So I think it's going to be a grand old time.
Good. We will get into the crown debate then.
Just let me pronounce his name. Not that you're like, oh, Carlos.
It would be Juan Carlos. He probably would appreciate if I could roll my R. Carlos. I can't.
Carlos.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I can do it.
Um, so here's the thing, Nicole. When I
Mm.
said I kind of wanted to switch up the show a touch, but not really, but a touch. In other words, we all just saw the edit, and obviously, yes,
Oh,
we can go through it.
I thought we were going to do the show shirtless, but okay, I'm on board. Go ahead.
But yet you put more colors on. So, um, there's so much missing from that edit
Okay.
that I thought we could like a little bit of our thoughts on what happened on the show and then a little bit about what actually happened.
Okay, let's do it. I love the sound of that.
I love the sound of that too. Let's go.
Okay, so this episode, of course, starts with a recap of the latest episode. The recap being very Kiefer heavy, Kiefer edited, Kiefer emphasized. I feel like even more so than the episode was. So we
Yeah.
see he's not a dead man walking. He is the mullet man. He's the grim Kiefer. Here we go. And a lot of like
Reign of
building him
Terror.
up. We see the Tina eviction, of course, again, and we see the reign of terror. And like I like the little segue of how many sunsetters can get thrown under a bus. And here we go. We
By the
start the
way,
episode.
what was the Kiefer things? Because you seem to have that down. Tell me what the Kiefer things were again.
Kiefer is not a dead man walking. He is the mullet man. He is the grim Kiefer.
Hmm. It's interesting how the guys always get like the, positives. And now I feel like Terra is Reign of Terror, which I get. They are just doing a play on words. But then, last week with Beth, too, I feel like was Beth is ruining everyone's game. Remember how it just seems like when the girls are in power, the joke is they suck.
I
And
hear that.
then,
But I think the nicknames Reign of
I-
Terror is kind of similar to Grim Keeper. Would you really want to be called the Grim Reaper? I mean, I
sure.
was, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yeah. I do hear what you're saying.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, I mean, Grim Kiefer. We look, I only wanted one thing out of this episode, and I know I kind of explained things to you briefly earlier today. All I
Yes.
needed to know was I needed a DR to understand what Kiefer's really thinking.
Absolutely true. And I think we not only got that, we also got, I feel like
Ty.
a lot more of Ty and what he's thinking in regard to everything, which I loved to see. And then also even Braden. Braden, I think, is somebody that people think is like la 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 la, like airhead, what's going on? When in reality, he's in the DR like, Beth, come on, do you really think so? It's nice to see more of that very real side of people, because sometimes even when you're watching the live feeds, you're like, is this person just blowing smoke? Like, what's happening here? But I really liked hearing from Ty. I don't want to jump around, but one of my favorite things was the whole chess analogy.
Yeah. Well, go. Let's
So,
keep moving it then. So we can move
okay,
over to chess.
so of course Tara wins HOH. She picks the have-nots. Finally, we have a Jed and a Ty and a Beth. The trio are have-nots. So of course Braden and Keeper are celebrating because they've always been it.
They've always been it. And see, all of those scenes in the beginning of the episode, I was very much like, I like this Jed, but I also kind of don't like, I don't get it. Like, is it fake? Because like he ran right to Tara and was just like, "Oh my god, you did it! You won HOH! Oh my god, that is the best thing! Oh my god!" But like, he talks shit about her behind her back
I
nonstop.
I would say in that moment, there may be like 30% just joy that somebody who hasn't won HOH yet won and they're going to see their family. So there is that human aspect of it. But I would say 70%, and this is just from my experience, is that moment of, oh shit, I better act happy. In that split second, it's like, oh shit, you did it. So proud of you. So I would imagine it's more of like, we're good, right? Because I celebrated with you and I celebrated with you first. We're good. Don't look at me. Look at them.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that is definitely part of it, because it definitely can't be 100% genuine since
You're scared.
d
Yeah, you're scared for your game. So it
yeah,
is going to be that balance of like, yeah, you're happy for the person, but also I gotta make this like look good and work for me.
I'm still not over his, "This is me reading a book."
That's what he probably had to do.
Surprised they didn't give him a fucking pipe. Surprised they weren't like, "Well,
How
if
convenient.
you're gonna wear the Hugh Hefner jacket and pretend like you're reading on your throne, all you need is a pipe.
Oh, it seems that Sarah has won.
Dance for me, Beth, dance for me."
Wow, we're in rare form today. Okay, so um, from here we start out more. I shouldn't say start. It's more of our Kiefer edit. We see Kiefer, laying all his groundwork. We see him celebrating, with Tara and being like, "Listen, me and Bray have you." He explains that he already set the groundwork prior to the HOH, saying, "Listen, me and Bray got your back. It's us three to the end. Here we go, final three." So we see a lot of that conversation between them of like the trio is shook. Like, we want them to be scared. Let them be scared. Tara, don't you worry. This is Kiefer speaking, of course. Like, I'm going to win HOH next week and continue keeping us safe. So we see a lot more of just like brick by brick Kiefer building like all that like groundwork. And this goes back to what you were saying with the edit being very Kiefer emphasized. I can see them wanting a Kiefer winner, and rightfully so. Like the way he
Oh,
sets
I
things up
know.
is very scary.
Yeah.
I think it's very scary the way he does it. And if you think about it, not to jump ahead again, but you know, Beth kind of being caught talking to everybody and devising a plan and being very messy and erratic and all over the place. Everybody's like, "Oh, Beth, why would you do that?" Meanwhile, Kiefer's doing it. He's all over the place, talking to everybody, playing both sides. And whether they know or they don't, everybody's like, "Oh, that's Kiefer. We need him right now. He's on our side." So it's working for him. So that's just something that I have to like commend him for. But that's a side note because I know you have your
No,
opinions.
Kiefer. Well, here's the first thing. Oh, we can jump all around the town because
Okay.
that's the way these feeds work and the way the show is. Just we can just jump. People, we're gonna
Jump.
jump this episode, so we'll jump when we wanna. We're just gonna
Everybody
go
jump,
where we want.
jump, jump. Everybody jump, jump, jump. And
Uh,
yes, for those wondering, I did have a lot of sugar prior to the show.
okay, great. So
Oh my.
what? Everybody was jumping. Okay, so first of all, because it is right in the beginning of the episode where we kind of get that key for GR where he is just like, you got to make a move. And in this game, like they kept me, they're going to regret it, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
It was very confusing in the beginning of the week watching the feeds because Kiefer really had me convinced he was not gonna go against them. Like he was genuinely crushed when like he was getting wind that they were going to be nominated, or that's what I thought from watching the feed. So he even convinced me. I guess he didn't really feel that way, but he was like
Which,
moping around.
which, if that is the case and that is an act, that again is a small tidbit of what it's like to be in that house. So, like you as the viewer, you're watching the feeds going, wait, is he being genuine? Is he lying? Is this an act? And think of it that way. Like you don't even know watching it because you're not seeing the DRs. Now imagine living it. It shows why people fall for each other's like bullshit.
Oh no, I totally get that.
Yeah.
Um But yeah, so I mean, kudos to Kiefer. We're gonna get more into what he, what we're gonna get more into. In my opinion, now I'm fairly confident what his plan and strategy and what he's doing is.
Yes. So now, of course, we see more of Kiefer's mindset and where he's at. We also, like I said, see a lot more of Ty's. This brings us to a moment where, Beth is talking to Ty and Jed, and Beth is very like, the four is done. The four is done. Us three will be fine. The sauce is fine. Sauce
Yeah,
is fine. But Kiefer's not. Kiefer's done. He's gone. And we see a more vocal Ty, not even in the diary room, but
but
also in the game, being like, Beth, it's gonna be us. Like, how delusional could you be? It's gonna be us. And he's just not having it. Ty is done with Beth. He is not having it anymore. He's very like, you're wrong.
yeah, that's because yes, 100% he's done with Beth. And I kind of, it almost happened instantly. You know, we've been blocked from a lot of feeds since HOH. Um, and I just don't feel like that conversation in the kitchen with Kiefer is the thing that pushed him over. I guess the thing that pushed him over was finding out that Beth wanted him to go on the block. I really think that's the thing that solidified for him. No, I'm done with this now. If she's gonna push for me, she might be able to get in Jed's head and then we're screwed.
No, it's very, very true. Very true.
Which
And
then
I
leads
mean,
us to chess, right?
it leaves what?
That leads us to chess, doesn't it?
That was a lot later on, but yeah, that very much relates. So we can talk about that. Is Ty explaining, and I haven't refreshed on my chess skills, so I'd have to actually go in and look at my notes for who is what. But he basically explains that Jed is the king, and his sole purpose is to protect his queen, aka Beth. Beth is of course the queen, whose only main concern is herself, which you can't knock it. It is a game, and your main concern should be yourself. But he explains that, and he explains that he is the bishop because he needs to work with everybody else to take out the king and queen. Um, Kiefer being the knight, and Brayden being the pawn, and Tara being the rook. So regardless, the main thing is he's like, you know what? Jed and Beth are this king and queen. Their main concern is either themselves or each other. I need to work with everybody to get a checkmate, and I can make this happen. And I almost wonder, like, is this something he thought up, and he went into the DR and was like, I have this analogy that I want to explain. Or you wonder if the DR was like, Ty, you play chess a lot. Who equates what like that's what I wonder.
I mean, he said that Jed was the queen and Beth was the king, which I thought
Did
was
he?
which I thought was a little bit weird, but here's the thing. I took that scene a totally different way.
What do you mean?
I mean, kind of to quote Becca from chat, she was like, watching Ty explain chess in that DR was so hot, and it was. It was very like, you know, um,
Excuse me.
there's first the queen, and the queen, she can be my king. I love a bishop. I'm a big hard bishop. And the pawns, they go all around me. Yeah, babe. I was like, what are you
It's
doing?
still on.
it's like, what are you doing?
There it is. There it is.
I want you to
I said
listen.
that
What? Go ahead.
my joke to my sisters was when Tara had selected Ty for Wendy's and they were
Mhm.
sitting together. I had said, how do you take somebody like Ty seriously when you're talking to him? I go, I feel like anybody's impulse, and of course this is a joke, so but anybody's impulse would be like, oh, sorry, yes, in the bed, the block. Did I say bed? I meant block. I'm so silly. Like I feel like that's what anybody would do, right?
That's what anybody would do. Like, his whole thing there, I was just like, I don't know. basically, my whole impression of Ty this season, unfortunately, I, as a, you know, gay, just see Ty as like this piece of meat who has basically been like, okay, yeah,
Eric.
okay, sure, right, okay, sure. He's just like one word every conversation for most of the conversation he's in. So for him to all of a sudden be like,
Yep.
I'm the knight and I can take my
I
bishop and
think
run it around the board. Checkmate, bitch. And I was like, the fuck, where did this guy come from?
that's the thing. It makes you think, like, obviously, evidently, that was more so a strategy thing of keeping, his cards close to his chest and being short answers and yeah, uh-huh. And now that it's getting to a point, and I was telling my family this, they're at final six, which on my season was very brief. So let's go to five. That's a very awkward time. That's like a whole different game. It's not even like you're playing anymore. It's just awkward because you're like down to like, hey, finale's coming, and everybody's acting weird. So it's almost like a switch went off in him, and he's
Yeah.
like, all right, the one word answer, tie is over. I'm ready to play some freaking chess. Like he's ready. And I think I would very much like to see him in the final two and have everybody be like, wait, what? And
But
he's just like, checkmate, bitches.
but my question is he really willing? Like, I get him willing to cut Beth
Yes.
100%. But is he gonna do Jed like that? And here's the thing. I say, first of all, I have so many problems with things.
Okay.
Beth, if you were so okay with subbing Tara into your final four right now and Kiefer leaving, why didn't you just get rid of him last week? Then you wouldn't
Well,
even
she
be
wanted
in,
to.
because
She
she
wanted
wanted to
to.
hedge your bets for the HOH. Well, you
Keep it
lost.
keep in mind she wanted to get rid of him, and she was, I think, more so outnumbered than like we give her,
Sure.
but
Yes, she did originally, and then she put up zero resistance to it
yeah,
once it happened for more than 40 seconds.
exactly.
Um,
But also,
so what?
I was gonna say her pitch to like Tara of all that matters now is you and me being a duo. If I was Tara, I'd be like, you didn't fucks with me this entire
Oh
game.
yeah.
Now
Oh,
I'm
you have no idea.
HOH, and you're just like, I don't know how to even word it. You're just like laying it on thick. You're just like, me and you
Delusional.
together forever. Meanwhile, oh my god, one of my most frustrating moments was that whole scene in the kitchen with Jed, Ty, and Beth. And I get it. You're vocal with your allies. It's a game. You get pissed off. You get frustrated. You laugh about things. But the arrogance,
I
of
didn't even
like,
think that was that bad, honestly.
I think it was bad. I think it's very, very nervy to pick on people for making it to the same spot you made it. You could say what you want. All of them are in final six. So it'd be like, she floated her way here. And what? Now she wants to build a resume? Yeah, because she won a comp that you didn't win. So it doesn't. So when you win comps, it's like, oh, well done. But if she wins a comp, it's like, oh, you just won it because you're a floater. What? It doesn't make any
Yes,
sense.
but that
And
is
then
the most Canadian of insult. I mean, that's not insulting someone.
you know what it is though? Maybe that's what it is. I That pisses me off more. I rather somebody come up to my face and just be like, this is bullcrap and tell me off than somebody not even a room over. Be like, oh, she's bloated. And now she's gonna go home final five. Whatever, loser. It's like, what? Like, are we in a middle school cafeteria? Like, I was disappointed in them three. And it's like, guys, calm down. You got. Someone that
I,
wasn't you won, and you can't be butthurt.
We have to go back to the Tara and Beth conversation, but we're on this one now. So I will just say, I'm not saying it wasn't rude. It was 100% rude.
Yeah, I
But if
don't.
we're gonna put it on a scale of like 1 to 10, the things being like the level of insulting that they were, I would give it like a 2. They could have went to she's a bad mom, her kids should be
Yeah.
embarrassed of her. Like if they were gonna talk shit, they could have talked. They were basically just like she's a floater and now she wants to make. I'm just saying it was very light on the insults, but I do get it. They still were talking about her not realizing she was sitting there. By the
Yeah,
way, I don't care for that. I don't care for it either, and I don't care for two of the three of them. But I also still think it was like horrifically like bashing her either.
true. And of course, it wasn't personal. That's a whole nother ballpark if it
Yeah,
was. But I think, and you know this, it doesn't matter who it is, what it is. When the word deserve comes out of somebody's mouth, and I know they didn't specifically say it, but I have so much trouble getting past that with like the I'm like
I
a
know.
genius and I deserve to win it. And what did that person do? They got to the same
That's
spot
why
as you.
that's why I can't stand Kiefer, because he walks around the house like he is gonna win everything and that he, deserves to win the game.
Yeah, I hear that.
But I do hate to say it, this point after this week, again, with the lack of a better word, if we were going to say
Mhm.
who did the most in this game to influence it, I know
Yes,
everyone's playing the game, so
yes.
everyone did the most playing the game together. But
Mhm.
who influenced the most plot changes, change of the storyline, changing the dynamic of the game? I would say Kiefer 100% has, and I am saying it as someone who's not that big of a Kiefer fan. But what he has done this week is just like,
Yes.
you
It's
deserve to win.
it's scary, scary impressive and goes back to what I've been saying for a couple episodes now. If there's a returnee season, get ready to see Kiefer on it because you can't deny, like I said,
He
him,
can't play
Victoria,
again. He
it's
better
just
win.
scary.
Well, he
It's
better
very
win. He can't play again. Who's going to trust him? Would you trust him in any alliance after you just watched his game?
yes and no. I think you'd be
Wow.
shocked. That's kind of like saying BBUS. Oh, would you trust Derek if he was in that house?
No.
Derek's so good at what he does. No, Derek is so good at what he does that there would be people that would be like, well, he's loyal to me. Look at Tyler. Tyler's a prime example. He's somebody who gave out alliances like Oprah with cars, and then on All Stars, he made the joke that he was doing it again, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's Tyler." So I think if you just have that air, I think if he returned, there would be certain people that would be like, "Oh, Kiefer, I can beat him later." Oh, Kiefer, there's no way he's friends with them
Yeah,
and
I
them
think
and them. You know?
I 100% think there would be, if he returned, people with egos that are like, I don't care how much gaming he does. I'll just beat him in
Yeah,
a comp and put him out.
exactly.
100%. Do I think people are going to be like, I'm going to trust what Kiefer tells me in this alliance? No, not after this game, which is why it's
Touche.
bad, which is why I always said that if I played Big Brother, the first time I played, my goal would simply be just be loyal, be memorable, be like a walking billboard. And that would be my only goal. I wouldn't want anyone to see my real game and what I would really do, and
Until you
hope
come
I
back.
would get asked to play back, like asked to come back again, and then be like a ruthless throat cutter because no one would believe it.
And nobody would believe it, but also the fandom would be like, "This is not the Eric that
Oh
we
yeah, they
know."
would
And
hate
what
me,
is?
but you know what?
Yeah,
I would have. Well, first of all, I'd never play unless it was $1 million. So I have my $1 million. You can name me all you want.
like I had a. I mean, I shouldn't say this. I should shut up. But I had a good little chuckle when Kiefer's like, "I need this money. I have kids." I was like, "It's 100,000. You're gonna pay taxes." Like,
Nope,
just be
not in
aware. No
Canada.
taxes in Canada. Oh, I'm out. F this and the broadcast. I'm moving to Canada right now. Goodbye.
Oh, I'd
No,
go.
there's no taxes. Okay, touche, Kiefer. I'm just gonna keep on saying touche, touche. There's a,
Th- th-
wait, so there's healthcare and no taxes?
there's no taxes on prize winnings.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother thing. So, and there's also French. So, oui, with healthcare and no taxes.
I'm sorry, is that a benefit? That's the reason I won't go there.
It would be too cold.
It's basically like this weather.
Really? Oh,
Um,
you're right. Yeah, I guess I was up there and it is like this. Huh.
yeah. So here's the thing, though. I want to go back to the Beth and Terra conversation in the HOH, because we kind of saw like and that was as heated as it got. They left in all of the heated parts of it, but I loved. Here's the thing, and it's what annoys the shit out of me about Kiefer. It's what annoys the shit out of me about Beth. This games. Um, Beth is just very much like, well, didn't think you'd do it to me. I guess you're gonna just burn all your bridges. Yeah, what bridges did I have? And this is the thing. Well, okay, we'll get there in 1 second. But that's the first thing. And then she'd be like, and you swore on your kids. Here's my two biggest things, and I know we've already had this conversation. I'm just going to throw this in here again. If
Do it.
one day I am ever lucky enough to have a child, that child's going to know that there's a possibility that one day daddy's going to be on a TV show and he's going to swear on you, dumb little ass. So, A, kid, which I will raise you to understand that words are words and they're just words. They can hurt people. They are sticks and stones. But in the grand scheme of things, I didn't win the lotto, become good looking, or anything else by me just saying the words. So I'm going to swear on your little butt. Now, we've already had this conversation. We know
I
you
know,
disagree.
So let me say my piece. I don't believe in swearing on things because I think there is a force of manifestation and juju and putting stuff into the universe. And that goes back to like when people are sick, and sometimes people that don't have the will aren't able to fight as much as people that go, no, I will fight this. And there is the power of, there's the word, manifestation. So I do believe if you do it, karma can come for you. Maybe it depends on intention. I don't know. But all I know is I would never swear on a family member unless what I was saying was actually the truth. That's my rant. I'll let it go now. Look ahead. So I will not swear on your little butts.
I'm on year 2.5 of losing almost all of my possessions and watching my parents die in front of my eyes. But you know what hasn't made it any better? Me going, I wish they would get better today. Which is exactly why swearing on anyone doesn't matter. And if it makes you feel better, I've been swearing on you every time you're not around.
Eric, do not.
Oh, I swear all over you.
Can you not?
I've been doing it for like 2 years.
That's not good. Oh my God.
It's my new phrase. I swear on Nicole. I say it on every hangout show. And then I lie on purpose because people believe me because I'm swearing on you.
Don't
How
tell
you
me
feel,
this.
okay?
I don't know. I think I'm feeling a little sick. I am kind of itchy today. So I hope you didn't like send me like allergies.
Maybe. But here's the thing. So that's number one, which that's been a big conversation, like on the live feeds about Tara being like, they make me swear on my kids and blah, 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 and he sweared on his kids and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Don't care over those conversations. Moving on. Oh, and by the way, if you're ever going to play Big Brother, don't believe the people that swear on their kids. You might not want to swear on your kids. Cool, cool, cool. Don't put your game in someone's hands because they swore on their kids, because that person could be me. And I could be like, I swear on my kids. Bye.
Well, I'll say that as well. I would never swear on anything. However, I would never trust somebody swearing on stuff because come on now.
It's a game about lying. To be clear, because now people are gonna be like, you're a horrible person. I'm not talking about in real life. I'm not talking you should swear on shit and lie in real life. Talking about in a game about lying. I don't give a shit about lying to someone. The game's lying. We all signed up for the lying game.
There's been a lot of shit. A lot of
okay.
That's the word of the day. This broadcast of Hello Friends brought to you by the word shit.
So here's the other shitty thing I've been seeing a lot of online. That people are so frustrated with Tara because she would put up a tie and a braid. And now I know that we're jumping, but I'm gonna forget to make this point, so I just want to make it now. And obviously everyone knows there's spoilers, so spoiler alert all over the place. We know that this is gonna end in Beth coming down, Braden going up, and the plan to backdoor Jed. However,
yes,
everybody is like, that's the stupidest thing. Tara's HOH is a flop. All I see people on Twitter saying is like, this is so stupid. This is the worst move ever. Why is she not putting up Ty and Jed? Okay, number one, Beth is not loyal to her. Did you watch this episode? Because Beth literally said, I'm going to go lie to her. So Beth never had her back. You know who else never considered her before? Ty or Jed. And Kiefer screwed over a friend last week. Now, here's the thing. Did Tara trade Brayden for Ty? Yes, but she had no options next week. So the people that are like, oh my God, she ruined her game by doing this. No, she didn't. She picked up Ty, who at least now will have guilt or remorse about if he goes against her, where before he had no reason to. Now she kept him safe and kept him off the block. She showed an act of faith towards him and that she's winning these competitions. That gives him reason to want to work with her. It has not affected her relationship with Brayden. You want to see my Brayden impression? That's fair. That's fair. 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 That's fair. It's fair. Fair. That's all he says in every conversation. Fair.
Aw,
Fair. No,
I
that's
love
fair.
him.
I see that. Fair. I see that. I
Don't
see
you
that.
feel like
Fair.
don't you feel like
That's
we're gonna be best
Brayden.
friends with him postseason? I just have a feeling. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna just both be like fair back and forth to each other. So basically, I don't understand what show people are watching that think Tara did a bad move this week. She caused chaos in the alliance regardless of what happens. Right?
Yes.
They're all going. They're the four of them, the Jed, Ty, Beth, and Kiefer, are now not all harmonious. So there's already all that friction. She has the ammunition to expose that it was Kiefer's idea to blow Kiefer out of there completely. Kiefer does have nowhere to go. She's kept Brayden loyal to her. Kiefer basically has to work with her. And now Ty is feeling like she kept me, whereas Beth wants to get rid of me. How all of this is a flop on Tara is beyond me unless you don't understand what's going on in this game.
To the men, I could not have explained it any better myself. So I pantomimed it instead. That's exactly how I feel. People need to look ahead and realize, yeah, in that moment, it's like, yeah, Ty and Jed, Ty and Jed. But if you look at the future, why piss off so many people if
Yeah.
she could do what she did? Keep Brayden's not mad at her. She's still just as she was with Brayden. Everything's still as good as it was. But she brought in Ty. So if anything, she's potentially getting rid of a huge target, but also taking the other huge target. I almost said hard target. And yeah, he is. No, and instead of putting him up and angering him, you're pulling him closer and making him go, okay, Tara, like you didn't put me up. I see you.
Yeah.
And it's so smart. Like she did a phenomenal job with the cards that she has. And I applaud it. And I believe I retweeted your tweet about it because she's doing a great job. And I think people are not, I hate when I say people, some people are not seeing it that way. They're seeing it as, oh, you put up the duo. And sometimes that's not the easy, immediate answer is
I
not always
wouldn't.
the smartest one. And she thought it through a lot more.
Yeah, I would, and I wouldn't. Well, we're gonna get into the how it unfolded in a
True.
touch, but I would say she put up the showmance, not the duo, because I would have called Ty and Jedson the duo, but not
Well,
anymore.
that would be my question to you, because the one thing that I believe Beth had said to Tara is, what's scarier, a showmance or a bromance?
A
And I
bromance,
want to get your answer to that.
bromance.
Why?
Because I'm sorry, the competitions are geared more for men.
I said the showmance because maybe it's my own issues with things. No, I'm just kidding. I the phrase I use, this is probably not the appropriate phrase, and I apologize for even saying it, but like you don't shit where you eat. So I think typically with a bro, and I know we've seen it with like the pretty boys and stuff, so it's not really the case. Like we've seen the hitmen, people stay loyal to their bro. However, I think when it comes down to it, if a guy has to pick between his bro and his girl who they're doing stuff, I feel like it's kind of like, well, if I F you over, bro, we'll be cool because we're bros and guys tend to like forgive and forget. I think if you screw over a woman, especially a woman that you maybe want to be with in the
I
future,
agree with that.
you're screwing it over permanently for the most part. So it's kind of like you'll get over it. You won't. You're going to hold a grudge and not want to be with me anymore. So I think a showmance is scarier, in my opinion, in that sense, when it comes to that one decision, if that makes sense. But you are right from a competition standpoint. Yes, two bros is scarier.
You're right in this, but I mean, it also depends the scenario we're talking about. So,
Yes.
like, in other words, if I was Ty, then yes, I am scared of the showmance because I'm essentially this third wheel. He's gonna
Yes.
pick her. But if I am Tara and I have to see
Yes.
a showman, that manipulation is not working on her. So
Okay.
I would say the bromance is more of a threat to Tara,
I
a
agree.
threat to her game when it's a physical comp that is built for a guy to do better at, unfortunately.
I agree 100%. And I should clarify, I was speaking like from Ty's perspective,
Yeah.
like, or someone like Ty. I think seeing a showmance is far more scary because, oh my God, he's going to pick her over me. But yes, from Tara's perspective, I was Tara. I'd rather face off against another girl who maybe only
Yeah.
won like one or two things versus facing off against two guys who are a lot bigger than me and have won more. And not that Ty won a lot, but he has the physique where if it is a physical comp, he's more likely to beat you. So yes, from Tara's perspective, the two guys are far more scary.
Yeah. And it's not that even the girl of the showmance, you're really just speaking about the guy of the showmance. Because I do think two straight guys, will be more loyal to each other in the game than a straight guy.
With
I'm saying,
cameras, if there's no cameras, yes,
yeah,
guys are very, very loyal to each other.
yeah,
But with cameras and they
yeah.
see how the world's perceiving it, are you really going to pick your bro over your hoe? And I highly doubt it because people don't want to be viewed as like, oh man, a hump and dump. Oh man, I'm going to be viewed a certain way. They want it to be, no, I'm a great guy. I picked my girl. I saved my girl. I'm with my girl. Sorry, man. We're good, right? Like that's,
Well,
I feel like that's more the aesthetic of the dynamic of cameras.
but I have to say, now we're getting into such a psychological debate about this. I think it matters the power dynamic in the situation. I think if the guy is a douchebag and thinks he could get any girl, he's not going to give a shit. I think if the guy thinks, oh my God, I got on this TV show and I've always thought of myself as a semi good looking person, and this smoking hot girl is in a showmance with me, I don't want to lose that. Then yes, I think he would do that. But if he's like just a douchebag with a big ego that can be like, I could have any girl, I don't know that he puts so much weight into her forgiving him later. He's not going to care. He's like, there's 50 million more of you. I'm not getting married.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's more the
I think
psychological
it matters the
case
personality
by case.
types. Yeah, I think it matters the personality types in said showmans. And
Mm.
I think historically we have seen bromances go further in the history of Big Brother across the board.
Which is very valid. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll admit that that's a lot more correct than what I'm saying. I guess I'm just viewing it from my perspective
I know what
that
you're
if,
saying. Yeah.
yeah, if I was in a showmance and the guy, I mean, I don't know. That's actually a very good question because if the guy chose somebody else over me, I'd be like, it is a game. You pick who you think you're able to win with, but would I then want to be with him after the fact? I don't know. I feel it's a blaring red flag, you know. So I don't like I see somebody saying like guys know their showmans will forgive them. I don't know if showmances would forgive that. And we do have
So
examples
you
of showmances
think,
forgiving it. So I guess I'm wrong. I am very wrong.
well, okay, so to be clear, if you were in a relationship in the game,
An intimate relationship, continue.
okay,
Mhm.
and what it just said relationship. I don't know why you're banging the person in this
Because
fictional world.
that would be very, in
No,
my opinion,
okay.
that'd be very, very different. Because me and Cliff had a relationship, and I said to Cliff, if you need to pick somebody else that will allow you to win, I get that because I respect you. But me and Cliff weren't like, you know what I mean?
Banging it
That's
out.
very
Got
different.
it. Got it. Thanks for clearing that up. I have been wondering, but have been too scared to ask. Okay. So no, it's just very interesting what you're saying. So you are saying that in the intimate relationship that you have with someone, if they screwed you over in the game, you don't know how you would be able to maintain that relationship
Yeah.
moving forward after.
If the person sat me down and was like, shit, if I like take you to final three, we're both gonna lose, we're both screwed. I want a better life for us. I'd be like, okay, let's talk it out, let's figure it out. But if it's like final three and I'm sitting there like happy idiot, like, of course he's gonna take me. We had no conversations otherwise. He told me he is gonna take me and he screwed me over. From a game level, I'd be like, okay, kudos, it's a game, whatever. I'm saying on a personal level, I'd be like, you said you care about me and we're in this intimate relationship, but then you go ahead and screw
Mhm.
me over without telling me. So that adds a whole another psychological component of it would be a level of communication. I don't know why we're in a huge thing about showmances, but it would be more so the level of communication and concern and care. Where if it was prefaced, I would be
Yeah.
understanding. Whereas if I'm sitting there like a happy idiot and he didn't tell me, then that's like, ooh, red flag. Keep that in mind when you're engaged, married, having kids, that he's maybe not the most forefront person.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's relevant in the why these people are doing what they are doing because it's
Absolutely.
the Jed and Kiefer and Ty and all of that. Um, so yeah, I just thought that Beth was very flippant to Tara. And if I was Tara, because Beth was also very much preaching this girl power, girls got to stick together bullshit to
Yep.
Tara, to which if I was Tara, I would have literally said to her, hey, you know when you could have been all about girl power? When you kept Tina to stay last week.
Yep.
But you didn't.
Yep. She
So I
may have
don't
been.
care. So I don't care.
It's true.
And here's
And
the other
you know,
thing.
Tara
Mm,
Tara did bring that up to some who was this she brought up to? Jed, when she said, I'm putting you up, you took out my number one. So it's like, yeah, like an eye for an eye type of thing.
right. I see Heather says, okay, there's a difference between a blind side and choosing your game with a proper conversation. I
Exactly.
definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
That's a
Um,
perfect statement. Well done, Hunter. That's how I would word it.
yes. So, yeah, here's the other thing, which I don't understand, and I know people think that this is shitty or whatever, and I have really not seen a lot of it yet. The only time I did see it was from Kiefer when he was convincing Jed not to put him out, and he did his whole "I'm gonna try not to be a bitter juror" thing. Here is what I would have said to. Here is what I would be saying, honestly. What I believe I would be saying in this week at all these points, I would just be to everybody, you understand that if this is a lie, that I'm going to jury, right? And I'm going to
Yeah.
be real bitter. And I'm going to let everyone know how you lied and how you don't deserve to win the game. So just letting you know, if you're going to try and use me as your little meat puppet or shove your hand up my ass and think that you're going to, play me, understand that I'm going to jury.
Yeah.
And I got a
And that's a and
long
that's
time to convince people not to vote for you.
and that's a very valid
Yeah.
thing to use in a game like that. Use jury as your blackmail. And I know, people go, "Oh, don't be bitter." No, that should be, if you think you might be going out, that should be part of your pitch of like, "I'm going to jury house then, and you better be very scared of what I'm going to say and do." And I think, everything should be in your arsenal, including jury blackmail.
No, I 100% because not for nothing, it should. Braden should literally be saying to Kiefer this week, just so you know,
Yep.
we watched you the last 2 weeks, because all Kiefer fucking does is just flip and flop to power. We've watched you change your target week after week or lie and blindside people. So I want you to know right now, if you're lying and we're not really backdooring Jed and this is just some big plan that you're doing with them, you're not winning this game.
Yeah.
I will
Right.
make sure of it. Tara will make sure of it. We'll make Vic sure of it. And Rohan will be sure of it. You lost. So all this that you did was for nothing. That is what I would be saying if I was Braden. Now, I also get it. You don't want to be that aggressive towards someone
Not yet.
that you're in a social game, but I sure as shit would do it jokingly. Or I would do it like, God, Kiefer, I'm so glad you're on our side. I
That's how I
mean,
would do it.
are you worried that like they might turn the jury against you? Like I know if I went into jury and found out I was lied to, I would make sure that jury
I
didn't vote for that person.
I would do it almost like that, but different. Again, I still feel that's a little bit aggressive because of the
Yeah, I
person's
would
like,
have to think
really,
about it better,
like
but you get my
I feel
point.
like, yeah, I would be like, oh my gosh, Kiefer, like you're so amazing, like this, you're so smart. This game is going so well, and it really was your best bet. Because like, think about it, Kiefer. If you would have gotten rid of me, like I'm gonna go to jury. I'm gonna be upset with you. They're all my friends in jury. That would screw you.
Yeah,
I want to see you do well. So you're so smart to keep me here. Like this is gonna go so well for us. Oh my god, so great. Like
yeah,
that's how you need to pitch it.
that's how
Like
you do it.
all
100%.
positive. See, I got it. Still
All
got
po-
it.
that is 100% the way that you would do it. But yes, I don't understand why more people aren't using that. Or if I was Tara, even kind of saying that. But again, I just think Tara did brilliantly this whole entire week
Same.
in that she walked into this week, every single person other than Braden was going for her. She has at least come, and by the way,
Yeah.
no guns pointed at each other. It was everyone aiming a gun at Tara. She is now walking out of this week with Ty aiming at Beth and Jed being gonna be blindsided and Kiefer
So pissed
thinking
off at
he's
Kiefer.
controlling everything. It's like there's a lot of misdirection now, and she might have scooped up Ty, and she still has Braden and
Exactly.
hopefully the big people. So I think she did brilliant this week, and I do not understand why all of the social media is like worst week ever, worst HOH. Brilliant for her game and great feeds, by the way. So I don't know
Oh,
what we're measuring great versus a flop on.
yeah, absolutely brilliant. And think of it this way, even if you're saying, oh, but Jed could battle back. Yeah, he could. But in the grand scheme of things, who
Yeah,
is he
she
going to be
still
more
did
pissed
it.
off at? Tara, who put him up and he's aware she put him up?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be pissed at Ty and Kiefer, two
Yes.
of his allies that turned on him?
Correct.
If and when he comes back, his main focus is going to be F you, Kiefer, F you, Ty, and Tara can just sit back and watch it happen. So even if he comes back, it puts her in an even better spot.
Yeah. There is
Mhm.
just, I even said it this morning. Literally this morning, I tweeted out, I see no way Kiefer and Ty betray Jetson. I just don't see it. I think this is all a plan to get them to all stay together. But then it dawned on me this plan has been going on for 2 days, and Ty nor Kiefer never once in the past 2 days even hinted at it to Beth or Jed. If
Mm,
they were not going along with this, they would have hinted, said something.
guys, be aware. Yep.
They have, which is what they do all the time. But I mean, let's get into it. So basically, the episode just ends with Beth and Jed are on the block, right?
Yep. Yep.
So great.
Beth
Now,
Beth, of course, thinks she's a genius that has
oh
like
my God.
spun a web of oh, I told everybody to do everything, and Tara thinks that I want to backdoor Jed, and Jed has to say this, and if it doesn't work out, it's Ty's fault, and this way it won't fall on me, it'll fall on Ty, and everything's lined up perfectly, and I'm with Tara now, and I'm perfect, I'm sitting pretty, and I think that just shows the dichotomy between a Kiefer who's
Mhm.
doing it, and I think sitting better, versus a Beth who, and it could just be the edit, Kiefer's edited very, wow, Beth's edit is more like a chicken with its head cut off,
Mhm.
like, oh my God, she's spiraling. So we do see that. And like you said, we do see Tara name Jed and Beth as the nominees. And she explains that they both are powerful and influential and they put up her number one. Yeah, and we go from there.
First of all, nobody gave Tara the note that we like puns during these things. Every one of these
What?
ceremonies have been super punny, and she didn't do any puns. I'm actually pissed that Ty did not win the power of veto because I forget what it was, but he had like a great line. He was going to say something like, at some point in this game, you have to cut ties,
Oh,
but I've decided to be the tie that cuts you. And like would use
oh.
like, it was something like that. It was like really
Well,
good.
he was on tonight, and like we were saying, I don't know if he's always been this way in the DR, but he
Hmm.
just never made the edit because he wasn't influential enough. Like that could very well be.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite moments was you know what? Why don't you go on the block, Beth?
Yeah.
I was like, well done, Ty. Like
It's like,
if
oh,
he
you
was
have
a
an
woman, I would
opinion.
swear. If he was a woman, I would swear he was on his period because he was just not having it. He was just like moody, and Beth was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's just like, "Nah." I was like, "You go, Ty."
But not for nothing, that is a great Big Brother game. And now, as much as I say Kiefer deserves to win because of the way he's maneuvered this game, I would argue
Ty.
Ty's game is almost better
Yes.
because he doesn't have any of this blood on his hand.
Nope.
No one knew where he stood before jury started. None of us had a clue. I mean, we knew where he stood. We knew he was with them,
Yeah,
but he wasn't making any waves. He wasn't really giving out information to other people. He wasn't really doing a ton in this game. He was just in the triangle, in the sauce,
in you
floating like a
he
meatball.
that's perfect. You could he was like in this was it like mixed in with the sauce. Like if people
Yeah.
forgot about him because they were so caught up with everything else, and he was just in the sauce, marinating and just waiting. And I think
He
we're seeing that like that surgence of like here he comes, and I hope there's more of a tie story where all of a sudden he swoops in.
yeah.
I think that'd be an incredible like story of the season, especially when of the sauce, like it's like Jed and Beth, Jed and Beth, Jed and Beth, Beth and Jed, Beth. Like I think it's kind of like, and here he comes, but bam.
And
On that
and
note, sorry.
and I was gonna say, just to be clear, I'm not calling him furniture. I am, with all
No,
due respect to Tina, am not at all saying he played like a Tina game where there wasn't a lot of game. He definitely was gaming, but he gamed in such a like non-threatening way. It was always like, yeah, I'll go along with that. Oh, that was too many words. He would just always be like, yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
good
uh-huh,
idea. Sure.
good,
Yep. Good.
yeah,
Great.
uh-huh, yep,
So like I just, but was very influential and part of that group. So I
yes,
think Ty's game is brilliant. But here's kind of how I see what happened. And now hearing the DR, I am confident that this is what happened. So the original plan was once Beth knew, right, that her and Jed were going up.
okay. Which before you get on this whole thing, my last statement was I love that soundbite, and I love the at this point there are no back doors because everybody plays veto. It's a
Ugh,
screen door. I thought that was so clever and cute with Keith, Braden, and Ty. I like that little trio. Like I just thought it was very cute. And I just
it would help if
I
you knew
want
the
them
game,
final
Beth.
four. I want like a Keith and a Bray and a Ty and a Terra final four.
I kind of want to tie in a Bray final too, honestly. And Tara's grown on me immensely. Tara has
I,
grown on me immensely this week.
when they were eating Wendy's, I was like, could you imagine a Ty and Terra final two? I could ship that.
Yeah, I would
Okay,
like that a lot.
I'm ready.
I
Sorry.
honestly, I want Ty to win the game. He's who I
Yeah.
want to win completely. But anyway, and not because I love him. But anyway, so, uh, basically, they knew they're on the block, and then I believe let's just go with the scenario of now we know that Jed has won. Yeah, this is all the after workings of Jed has won POV. So now we know Jed
Okay.
is taking himself off the block, right?
One would think, yes.
He is. He has said, I'm gonna remove myself. Great. So Beth came up with a plan that was I'm gonna act like I'm going home. I'm gonna go to Beth. I mean, I'm gonna go to Tara,
Tara.
and I'm gonna be like, the boys told me I'm leaving. It doesn't matter. Don't do anything. You can't save me. It doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. In hopes that it's going to make Tara feel like, oh God, she's done. She's checked out. Her game is over.
Okay.
Maybe I don't put up a Kiefer. Maybe I put up a Brayden as the replacement,
Okay.
and then they'll get to vote him out. So they're trying, in other words, if the boys already said they're voting out Beth regardless, it doesn't matter who
Who-
Tara puts up. She
Okay.
might as well put up a Brayden, and then, haha, we were all lying to you. We just voted Brayden out.
Okay.
So
Heard.
that was their plan.
Which I don't think
However,
Tara would buy them wanting Beth out. I don't know.
well,
Okay.
no, because Kiefer told them. Kiefer went and told Tara and told them that that's what was happening.
Yes.
And told Brayden, because of course, lucky, best HOH Tara could ever won. Because let me tell you right now, if anyone on that other side won it, Kiefer would have been right up their asses.
Yep.
So good for you guys. Tara in the beginning of the episode when she was like, "This was the most important one," sure as shit was.
Yep.
So
literally game changing.
exactly. So Kiefer then says, Kiefer and Bray, they're like talking at night, and they were like, could you imagine if Jed would be dumb enough to use the POV? Because they all want Jed. He's like, this is the week to get Jed. He would never be dumb enough to use the POV on Beth. And Kiefer was like, well,
Oh my God.
what if we convince him to do it? Like, what if we can manipulate Beth? Because we can't go to Jed and do it, but we need Beth to do it. So what we need is to get Tara to convince Beth to convince Jed, which is ultimately what Beth did. Because when Beth went to Tara and she was trying to do all of her boo-hoo, the guys are sending me home, Tara already knew that was happening. She started working Beth with the, if like I'm not taking, like I don't want Jed to go. In all honesty, I would put Brayden up there because she knew that Brayden's who Jed and Beth wanted on the block.
Yes.
So
oh my God.
so because of Kiefer. So she was like, I would actually put Brayden up there. The only thing is, I would only put Brayden up there if it was beside Jed. I wouldn't put Brayden up beside you because, I don't feel that safe. I feel like I'd be gambling with his game too much. Plus, if you, a girl, went home on my HOH, that would be heartbreaking to me. So she totally convinced Beth, thanks to Kiefer, that Brayden will go on the block, but only if Ty wasn't there. And oh, darn, that's never going to happen, Beth, because he's never going to not use the POV on himself. Then Beth goes to work and she's like, Jed, you're never going to believe what they said. I would never ask you this. I would never ask you to do this. But they said, what they would do. Here's the other part. Kiefer knew that Jed all season has been saying, my only regret in this game is I never got to use the POV on somebody else. So,
so he's going to utilize.
Well, Beth and Tara are having that conversation. Here's Kiefer. Could you imagine if you use the POV on Beth? You'd be legendary. You would go down in the history of Big Red. And I'm sorry, but Jed's biggest problem is his ego. And if you feed Jed's ego, he will do. And Kiefer just kept inflating. You're going to go down in history. They're going to build a statue of you in that house. This would be the most epic game move ever. And so by the time that Jed got to Beth and Beth did her, I would never ask you to do this, but can you believe Brayden would actually be willing to go up? And then Jed is like, oh my God, he would? That's what we wanted. And I wanted to use the POV. I would be making the greatest move in history. Like, Kiefer doled out those stories to people, wound everybody up, and pushed them all together, held people back, control. It was honestly brilliant by Kiefer this week. Like,
And
I
this is what I
do not
mean.
like
Kiefer
him,
is
but amazing.
scary good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is, I think, some of the most intricate, detailed, multifaceted work I have ever seen on Big Brother, to
And
go to all different people with very different personalities and expect all of these moving parts to come into fruition. That's a lot to expect. Like, Tara's gonna do this, Beth's gonna do that, Jed's gonna do this, let me tell Jed that, let me tell, and have everything just sync up. So my thing to you is, so the only thing that doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, so Tara, the whole thing is that Brayden would definitely go home next to Jed, but not next to Beth. The
okay,
argument
so
was, oh no, Beth, you would go home over Brayden. That's what the
okay.
argument was.
Well, let me explain this part to you. And I just want to say this as well first. As much as I'm saying Kiefer gets the credit for coming up with the plans and pushing people places, Tara, I think, is not getting enough credit. She had to sell all this. If Tara didn't sell it to Beth, it never would have happened. So Tara does deserve a lot of credit. She had to convince Beth, I want to work with you in this game. I'm willing to put Brayden up there. Okay, so now here's the thing, right? She had to promise them that Brayden would go up
Yes.
because she knew that's what they wanted.
Yes.
Because
So
if
why can't she just put Brayden next to Beth if Jed takes himself down? Like, what was the argument?
because they want Brayden out. It's just they want Brayden out, and they
Which
don't
would still
want
have,
Ty. They don't want Ty on the block as the replacement.
yeah, but what I don't understand is, why wouldn't Jed just be like, okay, I'll take myself down, put Brayden up next to Beth?
Tara said the only way I put Brayden up is if he's sitting next to you, Jed.
And nobody thought that was weird. If I was Jed, I'd be like,
No, because she said, why was it? Oh my God. She had the point why. I'm sure. Why was the point, Courtney? I forgot what the main point of why that was. Why it had to be. There's like
Keith,
15 different stories. There was a very specific reason.
well,
What? Go ahead.
Keith in the YouTube chat says because Tara was pushing the woman angle, that she didn't want to see Beth going home. But
Right.
if they're arguing that they're voting out Brayden regardless, why? I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate. If I was Jed, I would say, all right, so you're admitting you want Brayden gone. It's a difference between Beth voting or me voting. They're essentially the same person. I would be like,
Oh
I'm
no.
taking myself down. Just put Brayden on and we'll
She
vote him
didn't
out.
want a girl. She didn't want a girl going home. So in other words,
The
she
girl won't go
didn't.
home. Brayden would. It'd be Brayden next to
No.
Beth.
Everything gets flipped every single week. So I'm not going to risk my friendship with Brayden and or Beth possibly going home. I need some assurance in this deal. So the only assurance that I can have in this deal is if at least Beth is off, so that I am not the only girl left in this game. Because
Yes.
Tara has all the power. It doesn't matter what Jed thinks. Tara is choosing the replacement. So she's calling their bluff. She knows they want Brayden, and she knows Keith and Ty will vote with her to get Jed out, but she has to play it cool and just be like, no, I will only do it if Braden's up there.
And that's the thing. My whole
Yes.
thing is like, it's amazing. The plan is
Yeah.
working. Like, wow, wow, wow to all of you. I'm just saying, as a game player, if I was in that house, if I was Jed, I'd be like, you can still implement this plan with me coming down. You could still put up
Mm,
Braden. We'll send Braden home
You're
over Beth. I'm not sacrificing myself. Like, I'm just saying, like, from Jed's point of view, that would be such a red flag to me. I'd be like, something's not right here. And if your argument is, oh, you never know, things flip, Beth could go home. If I
yeah.
was Jed, I'd be like, yeah, things could flip and I could go home, you know?
Yes, but okay, so yeah, the point, well, the A that I think you're not getting is she's saying, I don't trust the boys won't take Beth out. Everyone is playing to Jed's
Her
ego. You're thinking that Jed is thinking all this nefarious shit. He's not, because all everyone's doing is jerking
is
him off.
stroking. Yeah.
Kiefer's going, best move ever. This is the greatest thing. I got your back. Ty got your back. You got nothing to worry about. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. She's willing to do it. Don't think about it. She's willing to do it. And then Beth is
So,
like, oh my God, my hero, you're going to save me now. My heroes.
gotcha.
You see what I'm like?
So
Yeah,
it was more so, oh no, as a female, I don't trust the boys not to get rid of you, Beth. I trust you, Beth, to keep Jed.
correct.
Okay, and I see like Keith is saying Jed said it was a red flag, but his ego got in the way.
Correct. It's
So
100% his ego.
okay, heard. Okay,
They
I
all
hear it.
played to
I'm
his
getting
ego.
now. And that,
Yes,
so it was just all the components literally fell together where
that's
nobody thought
correct.
why. Like
Right.
I would sit in bed and like go through
No, it
everything and
was
go,
convincing.
why?
But that's why I'm saying Tara deserves a lot of credit. As much as
Yeah,
this was
hell yeah.
Kiefer's plan, Tara deserves the credit for selling it. She sold it so well. And in the way that Beth goes around, it fucking grates on me that Beth is like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to convince them that this is the that. You know, like Tara is very much like, okay, this is a game move. You got this, girl. You can do it. We're going to
Yeah.
sell it. All right, let's go. Come on. And then she like goes there and sells it. I'm like, that's amazing. I would also like to say, now I'm going to confuse people because I'm going to say it here and I wanted to say it before as the joke. But let me just say, if none of this did happen and Beth got voted out, or like Beth did get saved. So Beth gets saved, but now let's say Beth gets voted out in the double. She's going to fucking take credit for Jed saving her. Watch. I guarantee she's
Yeah, oh yeah.
going to take credit for Jed's. She's going to take credit for the thing that got her voted out of the house. Mark my words.
It
So
would
dumb.
make sense, yeah. So
Okay.
now, so when it comes down to it, right, we
Mhm.
have a Jed and a Braden on the block. Tara cannot vote, excuse me. So we have a Beth who's not in on the plan, so she's going to vote to evict Braden. We have a
Well,
Kiefer.
she's in on a plan. She believes the plan
Plan is
is
Braden.
that her, Ty, and Kiefer are voting out Braden.
Yes, but what you're telling me is Kiefer and Ty are the ones. They have this side plan with Tara
Tara
to be
and
like, peace
Braden.
out, Jed.
They're getting rid of Jed, correct.
Which, oh my gosh, first of all, like we're already saying, kudos to Kiefer, wow, wow, wow. Kudos to Tara, wow, wow. And again, going back to what we were saying earlier, if Ty does this, holy one Kenobi, I don't even know what that means, but holy one Kenobi, damn, like it's gonna be very impressive. And it
Well,
almost is unfortunate with the whole battle back thing.
it is. It's very unfortunate. There was also the part in the room because, by the way, they were all like, Jed's not this dumb to use it on Beth. And they're kind of like laughing about it in the HOH room. And then there's this moment where Braden literally says, could you imagine if there was a twist this, Thursday that puts Jed back in the house? And Kiefer's like, never gonna happen.
Wow.
Can't
I
stand him.
see Starlet on YouTube says Jed pulled a Marcellus, which is very interesting because
And
people always
Lawan.
say, and a Lawan, people always say, how could you, who could be stupid enough to do something like that? How could,
Jed,
it happens.
Marcellus,
It
and Lawan.
happens. it happens because when you're in it
Nope.
and you have people talking, manipulating, saying
Don't
things,
care.
doing it, and your ego and it just all compounds, and it's very easy to watch and be like, I would never, but you
Let me
never
put it to you this
know.
way. If it was my first time playing, I would 100% do it. Again, I want the fans to love me. I want like all of that.
Mhm.
100%. First time I was playing, I would do it. If it was my second time playing, I don't care who the hell you are. You could be, I don't care who you are. You're cut. You could be Nicole, cutting you. If it's going to save my game, you're cut.
Well, so I have another update, and you can fill me in on this as well. Keith on YouTube is saying Kiefer is going to Beth on Wednesday to flip on Jed to make it 3-0. Beth told Brayden earlier today that she would be willing to flip on Jed
Okay.
if Brayden could go ahead and flip Kiefer.
Yes, I wasn't done with my updates yet. So
So
here's
Beth, so going with what you're saying, Beth's going to take credit for the whole flip on Jed.
not only is Beth going to take credit for the whole thing, because I see people in chat saying stuff like, this is all so dependent on Ty screwing over Jed. No, it's not. Beth is going to vote out Jed, which is what I've said all along, right? That was my viewpoint all along.
No.
Okay, I can't remember what my view.
Roll the film.
Okay,
You were
so that
always
was
the
you?
one that said she would never turn against them because it's a
You're
showman.
right. You're right. I did. So
I
I'm
was
wrong.
the one that
So
said, no,
I'm
let me
wrong.
finish my thought. Let me have my moment. Let me relish in my moment. I was the one
Relish.
that said, if any girl were to flip against her showmans, Beth is the one to do it. The way she talks to herself in rooms, the way she's pitched it since the beginning, like, I'm gonna flirt to get to the end. She's the one to go, ha ha ha, this is funny. I'll be the first ever to do it. I'm gonna do it. So I was the one that said that. And yeah, I teeter-tottered here and there, but I was the one that said it. I get credit for that. Thank you, and you're welcome.
Well, to be fair, we're talking about in a final two situation, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to see that. So this is going to have to be our bet. So this counts. Whatever happens now, we find out which of us is right. This will count.
Yep, it's gonna happen.
So
Which, here we go. Let's say Jed is evicted 3-0. Yeah, like I said, you're upset with Tara because she nominated you, but you're not upset with Brayden. His main focus is going to be, like I said, F you, Beth, F you, Ty, F you, Kiefer. Whoever gets evicted second, and then let's say he comes back, those are going to be his main people. It's going to be interesting who gets evicted second because they have to duke it out.
yeah,
And if it is like him and Beth facing off, that's going to be intense, especially if he's pissed.
that's what we want.
If it's him and Ty facing off, it's going to be intense because he's pissed. If it's him and Kiefer, it's going to be intense because he's pissed. If it's Tara, that's kind of like, oh man, come on, Tara, fight back, so we don't have like. Actually, no, it wouldn't matter. Actually, no,
I think it'll be Beth.
Jed would still be pissed.
Honestly, I think it could. I think it will be Beth. Honestly, I think production wants it to be Beth, and I think it'll be Beth. And
Wouldn't that be amazing to see? She flips on him, votes him out. He's pissed. They have to battle it out. He wins against her. He's like, go home, meh! And then then he comes back. He's like, Ty, keeper, what the hell? And then they're all angsty, mad, fighting each other. And then lo and behold, here comes final two. It's Tara and Brayden just sitting there like, sup.
It's going to be great. I cannot wait. Now, they're probably not going to turn the feeds on, so we're going to miss it all and have to rely on the shitty edit, which doesn't show us any of the good stuff, which are going to suck. So I'm going to try not to get my hopes up. But here's the thing. So this morning now, right?
Right.
They were kind of laughing outside, and they were like, so the POV ceremony happens. Jed does the worst move in Big Brother history. I texted Lawan earlier today, and I was like, you should send a thank you card to Jedson. He just
shout out to Lawan. Love Lawan, one of my favorite people.
I love Lawan too. Jedson just took a lot of pressure off Lawan holding that title now. So they were like, so she did it. I mean, he did it. He removed Beth, and Brain went up. Now, here's the thing. Originally, before I understood the whole plan, I was raging over Tara putting Braden on the block. I was like,
Same.
I thought, this is so stupid. I don't understand why she would do that. Until I went, oh my God, you are being crazy. Why don't you stop and think? And I already gave that whole monologue on why it's amazing for it. Okay.
Yes.
But so Brayden now, Ty made a joke this morning. He goes, okay, guys, so question. how long, let's take bets. How long until Beth comes to us all and says we need to get Jed out? So they were like joking about it and making bets, but Brayden was like, in all honesty, I'll start it right now. Like, this will take the heat off of all of us. I'm the one on the block. It would make sense. Like, Jed can't be mad at me. I'm on the block. Like,
Yeah,
obviously, I need to bitch.
yeah.
So, Brayden has gone to Beth now and started having those conversations to put it in her head. They are all working together really good to get these two out. And here's the thing, dear future Big Brother players, you cannot play the game this way. You cannot be a Jed and a Beth, and I'm sorry, even a Ty a little bit in there, and think that you're controlling the whole game. If you feel safe, you are not safe. Their downfall is they were so comfortable they didn't see it coming. And again, the biggest thing that I say all the time, stop letting anyone play both sides. You all gave Kiefer that game.
They did.
You let Kiefer. They literally, Kiefer, and this is
Create
how
a monster.
dumb these people are. Kiefer was like, you know what, guys? What if I make sure that I hang around Bray and Tara to stop the game talk for us? And they're like, that is such a great idea. Stop letting people play both alliances. And I know that you
I
hate that as someone in the game, but the more I think about it, I understand the isolating people and the isolating. And I don't think that you should do it as a group, but together as a group, you can go and hang out with that person. If I would never be like, yep, Kiefer, you go have a whole bunch of private conversations with the two people in power. I'm sure you're making no deals for yourself.
Yep.
No.
And no, what I would say is that's their own fault. Like I rephrase what I said. They didn't create the monster. They allowed the monster
Yeah.
to breathe and exist.
Well, it's
And
Andy Herron's game too.
it's a testament to Kiefer's game. And what's so interesting, they say like history repeats itself with anything. Big Brother being a little micro dish of what happens in society, it also repeats itself. And like I said, people go, "Oh, a Marcellus or Lawan could never happen again, or an Andy Herron type game could never happen again."
Yeah.
And it
Well, it
always
happened.
happens
It always
because
happens.
it's,
Yeah.
exactly, because it's different when you're in it, and you don't always see everything that's going on. And I think a lot of it has to do with social dynamics, where like, oh, we're the popular kids, we don't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
He's gonna work for us. Okay, be our little rat.
Yeah.
Good luck. And meanwhile, he's outsmarting them. So it's so freaking impressive. Like I cannot. And this week has redeemed, a little bit of like a lot of our frustrations in regard to a steamroll and whatnot. So
Yeah.
Tara winning this HOH, like I would argue, saved the season
Well,
and made it more of a what the fuck,
yeah. And
And
I
I'm
don't,
excited. I'm excited for. I'm excited to see this double battle back, whatever the f it's gonna bring.
I don't want Tara to lose the credit for what she's done this week as we all
Yeah,
talk about how amazing the stuff is that Kiefer has done. Because yes,
yeah,
he is the one that like put a lot of these plans into action. But again, it is so funny, and it's why at the beginning of every season I say it's Big Brother season. I'm gonna be a big ol' hypocrite because I can't stand Kiefer because he is the one that was leading to the steamroll and the people that I like getting out. Now it's like still not a fan of Kiefer's game, but at least he has directed that
yep,
target the other way. And I am sorry, I don't understand why everyone doesn't think this is the best season of Big Brother Canada, because there has not been 1 week without drama, power struggle. Da-da. Yes, you can say it went where, like, okay, of course that person's going to go. Of course that person's going to,
mm,
but it was always A battle,
Interesting.
a power shift, a plot, a scheme. This person, it's always been so many moving parts happening that made it so interesting. I wouldn't call anything about this season a steamroll. And every week I think it's over, it almost is better. Like, I thought this week would be horrific. It has been the most interesting gameplay wise. And then thanks to this, I was like, well, fucking double. Of course, we're going to lose like a Tara and a Braden. They'll probably be sticking around. And then, like you said, Jed will probably come back in pissed at Ty and Kiefer. And now we're
Yep.
going to get all that fun. Hopefully, Beth's the one that go, and we have none of the Beth complaining. This
Yeah.
could be another amazing week.
Which goes back to what I was saying. So in regard to the steamroll thing, not that it was a steamroll, but I think just that notion of like,
No, we thought it was going to be a
now
steam.
and now we're taking out Tina.
Yeah.
And like I think we all feared, oh, here we go. And
Yeah.
when we had said that, like, okay, the rest of the season, I said, nope, you never know. Don't, put that energy out. We got to manifest good, amazing things happening. And lo and behold, I was right again. You got to believe, whether you're a Mets fan or not, if there's one thing we are taught, you got to believe. You got to believe that things are going to shift, twist, turn, flip, get better. And here we are in the midst of a tornado cluster F of Big Brother Canada 9. And I'm loving every second of it. And regardless of who wins, I say this every season, but I'm going to articulate it again. You're a deserving winner because you got there with skill and tact and a whole lot of luck.
100%. 100%. Here's the thing.
Here's
You
the
know
thing.
what else they got, Nicole?
Time.
They got time, and we don't. But we gave you guys an extra half hour to discuss all of this
Yes.
drama and rigmarole. So I hope that you guys loved this supersized show. We hope that you will join us tomorrow when we are live with Juan Carlos, a local comedian, and that will be a Hello Friends show. On Wednesday this week for our next BBCAN show.
Yes. Yep. We'll be joined by Vanessa Clements from Big Brother Canada 8 last season. She's the lobster. I call her the lobster. The lobster fisherwoman.
And
our pal.
and then on Thursday?
On Thursday, we'll be joined by Ryan Ballantyne, if I pronounce his last name correctly.
Yes. So
He's
we
from
have
BB Canada
6, 7, 8, whatever.
He's just Big Brother Canada. Ryan is Big Brother Canada. That's all you need to know.
I love him. So we have guests for you guys all the rest of the week. Of course, we're live every single day. I am sure that I will be live on Twitch later tonight after this.
It's almost midnight. It's almost tomorrow. Happy almost Tuesday, everybody.
Thank you guys all so much for supporting the shows. Like we say before you leave, if you want to do a follow, a like, a subscribe, wherever you guys are watching this, we really appreciate it. Thumbsing up, hitting the bell on YouTube, commenting below, wherever you watch these. That's all great ways to support our content. Share it now that you've made it to the end of the show. If you think someone would like our conversation, I really wanted to have time to cut out little parts of our show from last week to put on social media because I thought the rants were great. I ran out of time. But feel free to do that. If there were any parts of this conversation that you all like, just remember, link back to the show. Don't be a Maximus mom and just steal our content.
But Maximus mom did gift subs tonight, so that negates it. She's in the green again. She's in the positive.
Yeah, the white, red, and green. That is France colors, right? I don't know. Okay.
France?
Yeah, what's the French
it's red, white,
colors?
and blue. Just like
us.
It
is? Oh, gross.
I think so.
Copy everything we do. And if you need to find where to find our socials, head over to our website, hellofriendspod.com. You can find Nicole's, mine, the shows, and more over there. Sorry, I'm not good with
Oh, boy.
colors. Not good with colors or crowns. Final thoughts?
Oh, no, don't get me started on this topic again. Final thoughts. Oh, I had a final thought.
You got 30 seconds.
Oh gosh. Just the quotes. Why don't you get on the block, Beth? It's not a back door, it's a screen door, because you can see the person coming, and cutting ties, ties cutting you. Here we go into the week. Get ready for Vanessa and Ryan joining us to talk more BBCAN, and it'll probably be more rants and more passion, because we're getting down to it. That was.
And remember, everyone, later tonight, when you're alone in your bed, the king can take the queen and use the bishop to flip the pawn. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.